Hello, this is Alan, welcoming you to the 2015th edition of the Enfield Talking newspaper, Dateline 27th August 2015. The readers this week are Alan, Sonia, Roz, and with Robin on the controls. The items that we will be reading come from our local newspapers, the Enfield Gazette and Advertiser and the Enfield Independent, and are their copyright. Our title music is Country Rock Polka, composed by Pat Pree, Fernand Bouillon and Harry Breuer, and is performed by Jean-Jacques Perry, and is used with his kind permission. Local stories this week include Appeal After Fatal Fall, Councillor's Trial Starts, I Have Never Seen Anything Like This, and Going into Battle Against Plans for Cycling. If you are experiencing any problems receiving your Enfield Talking newspaper, please phone Diane de Jersey on 020 8805 6578. She is your listener's representative and will be pleased to help you. The local stories don't appear in any particular order, and here comes the first one with Sonia.
An MP who swept to victory in May's general election is heralding Corbyn mania as the antidote to political apathy among disillusioned and disenfranchised voters across the country. Kate Osamore was one of the first MPs to show her support for Jeremy Corbyn when he was struggling to get the 35 pledges needed to get his name on the Labour leadership ballot. As an ally of the front-runner in the race to be crowned the next leader of the Labour Party, the MP for Edmonton has seen at first hand how the momentum around his campaign has built to fever pitch in recent weeks. An example of how energised his campaign is, I went along to a phone bank where volunteers call voters to gather support, and there were 5 rooms of volunteers, many of them using their own phones, she told the Advertiser. In my years of campaigning and being involved in politics, I have never seen anything like this. The level of energy and passion, it doesn't happen. No matter what you think of him, people are responding to him. They are responding to what he stands for. Despite the seemingly unstoppable groundswell of support for the only anti-austerity candidate in the running to lead the party, senior Labour figures have been lining up in recent weeks to warn of the dangers of electing Mr Corbyn. Those attacking his supporters need to get the message that the politics of the 1990s and the 2000s are not what people want anymore, added Miss Osamore. People don't trust politicians anymore. They want people who look and sound like them to represent them. I found that out firsthand when I campaigned in Edmonton. With Mr Corbyn under attack from inside the party, some have suggested that Labour will split, no matter what the outcome of the ballot is. I was listening to John Prescott and I agree with him, said Miss Osamore. We must not be talking about setting up other parties. Mr Prescott's warning at a rally for Andy Burnham came after speculation that 2 prominent members of the shadow cabinet, Chuka Umunna and Tristram Hunt, are setting up a subset of a party called the Labour Group for the Common Good, in opposition to those who back Mr Corbyn. I don't know exactly what the party will look like at the end of September, Miss Osamore said. There will be anger, and there are always groups that disagree within any party, but we have to try and work harmoniously. The winner of the leadership contest will be announced on September the 12th.
A former Labour councillor has claimed he acted in self-defence as a trial accusing him of assaulting a man last year began. Haydar Ulis, now an independent councillor for Hazelbury Ward, was accused of assault occasional actual bodily harm during a scuffle at a cash and carry in Bruntwood Road, Edmonton, on February the 20th, 2014. Following the incident, Councillor Oulis was suspended from the Labour Party, and now his case is being heard at Wood Green Crown Court. Principal of investment firm Oulis Group, the 36-year-old is accused of hitting a man on 3 occasions following an argument. He pleaded not guilty in January of this year, which saw the trial set for August 2015, almost 18 months after the incident occurred. With the trial beginning on Monday, the prosecution was unable to call on key witnesses Hassan Bouran, who was allegedly assaulted in an argument with the councillor. Following his no-show, the jury were played 2 clips of CCTV footage from the warehouse, which showed an initial fight outside between Oulis and 2 men, and then a brawl inside an office that involved Oulis and Bouran. During evidence, a pre-statement was read out which was made by Councillor Oulis upon his arrest last February to the police. In the statement he said he, Mr Bouran, had a fork in his hand as I approached the warehouse where I was going to meet the owner. I hit him as I feared for my safety. He, Mr Bouran, stabbed me with the fork to my temple and I fell to the ground. Speaking about the incident inside the office, Mr Oulis' statement to the police read, I heard people saying to him, leave it, don't go for the knife. And I feared he had a knife on him. He attacked me again and I may have hit him protecting myself. I grabbed the fork off him and the police came in. He then later apologised to me and I did the same to him. When quizzed again in September, Mr Oulis made a second statement when asked by police but did not choose to comment further. Hatan Firat from Stoke Newington is also standing trial with Councillor Oulis, accused of the same offences during the same incident last February. Miss Firat, who pleaded not guilty to the charge, and the court is set to hear from Councillor Oulis, with the trial expected to last no longer to the end of the week.
Tributes have been paid to a 22-year-old woman who plummeted to her death from a block of flats. Jourdain Jean-Baptiste fell from the 4th floor at Gainsborough House in Ailey Croft, Enfield, early on Friday morning. Murder detectives are now appealing for witnesses to the incident, and one man, aged 24, has been arrested on suspicion of causing grievous bodily harm and has been bailed to a date in late September. A mother who did not want to be named described how she heard the events on Friday morning. She said, "It was so scary. I was woken up by the sound of screaming from a couple of floors below me. The next thing I heard was someone fall to the ground. It is heartbreaking to see a young life lost in such a way. She was a beautiful girl and was always friendly to me and my family whenever I saw her." Justin Martins, a resident on the 8th floor, also paid tribute to the 22-year-old. He said, "She was a lovely girl who had a lot going for her. There's a community feel around here and most people know each other. She was always happy to talk to anyone in the block. The thought of what happened still gives me the shivers. Everyone round here is very quiet now." The 22-year-old worked at Liberty Gas, an independent heating company, and director David Blount said, "It was with great sadness that we received news of the death of our colleague and friend Jourdain Jean-Baptiste, who has worked in our Enfield office for the last 4 years as a senior administrator. Everyone who'd ever had the privilege of working with her found her a pleasure to work with. The company's heartfelt sympathy goes out to Jourdain's family and friends at this extremely distressing time." Miss Jean-Baptiste, believed to have lived alone, was taken by paramedics to an East London hospital, but died later that day. Detective Chief Inspector Neil Baldock of the Homicide and Major Crime Command said, "This is a sad case whereby a young woman's life has been tragically cut short. We are appealing for witnesses or anyone with information to come forward. We are especially keen to hear from anyone who may have witnessed what occurred on the victim's balcony prior to her fall to help us with our investigation. Anyone with information is asked to contact police via the incident room on 020 8721 4868.
Business owners are making a concerted bid to halt plans to make swathes of the borough cycle-friendly. The newly created Save Our Green Lanes campaign group has launched a scathing attack on the consultation to make the stretch of green lanes between Enfield Town, including London Road, Park Avenue, Village Road and River Avenue, and the North Circular Road in Palmer's Green, a safe place to cycle. The leaders of the campaign, N21 Online founder Helen Osman and businessman Kostas Georgiou, are accusing the cycling gurus at Enfield Council of hiding the detail of the proposals deep in the consultation paperwork. The campaign group says there would be significant loss of on-street parking for the businesses in Palmer's Green and Winchmore Hill Broadway, and in green lanes between Hazelwood Lane and Lodge Drive. However, the council documents do not mention this. In the consultation documents, available on the Cycle Enfield website, council officers detail the changes to the Broadway in Winchmore Hill by referring to the stretch of road between Station Road and Fernley Road, which encompasses the Broadway, by stating that the current 59 pay and display parking spaces will be reduced to 42, with 35 bays in green lanes and 7 bays in side roads. The area between Hazelwood Lane and Lodge Drive is covered by the council when it is mentioned that from Fox Lane to Broomfield Lane, the existing 47 spaces will go up to 60 by increasing capacity at the Lodge Drive car park. The campaigners also take issue with the proposed bus stop borders, where buses stop in the bus lane and passengers alight not onto the pavement but onto a raised cycle lane, depositing them in the midst of flowing cycle traffic. However, the Cabinet Member for the Environment, Daniel Anderson, told the Advertiser that he imagined the cycle lanes would not be full of Chris Froomes, but rather cyclists going at a gentle pace. However, the boarded bus stops will still mean that cyclists will more than likely have to overtake buses by weaving into oncoming traffic, something Mr. Anderson insists will not be dangerous for cyclists or drivers. It is important to remember that the plans are not finalised, added Mr. Anderson, and I am glad that Helen Osman and Kostas Georgiou are having their say and getting involved in the consultation process.
The festival season continues to gather pace. The annual Palmer's Green Festival returns to Broomfield Park on Sunday, September the 6th from noon, bringing together popular activities for both young and old. The free community event will feature more than 100 stalls, with many offering a flavour of the world, with cuisines from Poland, Mexico and South Asia. Physical activity and the benefits of exercise will be at the heart of the festival, with Tai Chi, yoga, Zumba dance, armchair exercises and Nordic walking all part of the range of activities which will be available to everyone. A fun fair and climbing wall are also among the attractions, and festival goers can take part in 7 hours of free dance lessons. Festival founder Philip Card said, "Everybody loves a party, and the festival is our once-a-year party to have fun and celebrate our community in the park." People are also encouraged to volunteer their spare time to ensure the thing actually runs smoothly. Coordinator Veronica True said, "There are so many ways people can help, even if it's just for a few hours. We need lots of people from early in the morning to clearing up the park late at night." Full details on the festival schedule of how to volunteer is available at www.palmersgreenfestival.org.uk.
Well, this next item may not be the longest you've ever heard, but it is interesting, so please pay attention. A public meeting to discuss the redevelopment of Chase Farm Hospital has been set for September the 10th. The hospital on the Ridgeway is undergoing a multi-million-pound redevelopment and has already hosted one meeting in Highland School earlier this year. Now, this new public meeting on September the 10th is going to be at the Dugdale Centre in London Road, Enfield, from 6:30 p.m. So that's 6:30 p.m. on September the 10th. Sonia, your item next.
A neglected open space is on the right path to success as it nears the end of its redevelopment. People living on the Wilbury estate in Edmonton helped put up football goals and celebrate the turnaround at Wilbury Open Space during a community day. A disused playground once sat on the open space, which was a haven for drug users. The open space was also rife with fly tipping and littering, and many in the area saw it as a no-go zone. However, following a £30,000 grant from the Enfield Residents Priority Fund, the site has made rapid improvement with a new playground set to be open this year, new football goals and a new path. This time last year, many who lived in homes on the Wilbury estate could not locate the open space, but now it is used often by the residents, according to Mark Ellul, 24, chairman of Friends of Tatum Park. He said, "It's been great to see people contribute ideas, and now we can see things moving forward in the right direction. This space was a haven for drug users and fly tipping, but it is very rare that you see that anymore. People in the area have taken more pride in the space." A community day last weekend, funded by Origin Housing, saw people in the area officially open the improved site. But Mr. Ellul says there is more to come. He added, "There has been a significant drop in crime, which is good news. It has not had any upgrades for years. To see this happening is amazing." Last year, members of the community contributed ideas for what they would like to see in the park. Mr. Ellul now aims to improve the Hermitage Lane open space next to Wilbury open space.
A furniture company has been fined after it sold a sofa and a mattress which were a fire hazard. Odour Exclusive in Hertford Road, Edmonton, were ordered to pay £6,000 and council costs of £1,547 by Tottenham Magistrates Court. Odour also has to pay a victim surcharge of £120. Trading Standards investigators bought a sofa from the firm's Edmonton branch in December 2014 and a week later bought a mattress from a different branch in Brownhill Road, Lewisham. The sofa failed fire safety costs and the mattress did not meet safety requirements. Councillor Daniel Anderson, Enfield's Councillor Cabinet Member for Environment, said, "Enfield Council will always prosecute companies that sell shoddy or dangerous items. Not only did Odour Mobilia sell potentially lethal sofas which could catch fire easily, but they did not disclose they were trading under another name, Odour Exclusive, and from different sites, which makes it hard for dissatisfied customers to contact them. I would urge anyone buying a sofa or bed to ensure they carry the fire safety mark."
Right. That left a nasty odour, didn't it? A youngster from Winchmore Hill admits he is counting down the days until the Rugby World Cup 2015 kicks off, after he was named an official mascot. Along with his Saracens team, Hugo Collins attended a Land Rover Premiership Rugby Cup at Sarries last season. It was there that the 11-year-old impressed with his rendition of the national anthem, which has now earned him his own spot in the tournament. The 11-year-old will now be Romania's mascot when they face Ireland at Wembley on September the 27th, and the Arundel Gardens resident can't wait to get going. He said, "I'm really pleased with myself. I'm shocked and honoured to be a mascot." Hugo will be one of 96 official Rugby World Cup 2015 mascots selected by Land Rover as part of its We Deal in Real campaign. I'm looking forward to getting on the pitch, standing close to the Ireland team and being in front of the crowd. One of my friends said, "I wish I was you." He's very pleased. Lewis Moody knows how important a Rugby World Cup is, having helped England lift the trophy in 2003. And the Land Rover ambassador admits he would be very happy to be in Hugo's shoes. Mr. Moody said, "Hugo has earned the right to be part of such an amazing experience. And to be honest, I'm a bit jealous."
Parents have been fined on more than 120 occasions in the past 4 years by 21 different schools for taking their children out of school during term time. In a Freedom of Information request by the Enfield Independent, it has been revealed that parents were fined 125 times between 2011 and 2015. Numbers soared between 2010 and 2012 from 1 to 36 fines in 2012. On 39 occasions, parents were fined in 2013, with a slight dip to 28 in 2014. Eldon Junior School on Eldon Road, Edmonton, had the highest number of individual fines, with 22 issued over 4 years. However, the local authority has yet to reveal how much each fine would cost, with schools setting their own level of fines. Aylward Academy in Windmill Hill, Aylward Academy in Windmill Road, Edmonton, was highest of secondary schools, with 21 fines for parents taking their children out of school during term time. An Enfield Council spokesman said, "Issuing fixed penalty notices is very much a last resort, and they are only used when all the other options available to us are exhausted. Where schools have experienced temporary increases in unauthorised absence, we put in place an action plan to address the situation, and these strategies are effective in quickly bringing down levels of unauthorised absence."
A Friends group has heralded community spirit for helping to secure more than £100,000 of funding to improve a park. Friends of Aldersbrook Park are hoping to see their park complete its major refurbishment by the end of the year after almost 2 years of waiting to secure funding. The park, in Aldersbrook Avenue, Enfield, has seen the completion of 2 outdoor table tennis tables as part of the Mayor of London project. Josie Walden, a member of the group, told the Enfield Independent just how much the park needs an upgrade. She said this park has not seen any redevelopment in 25 years and has been calling out for work to be done, so we are delighted to have secured the funding. The improvement will see a complete overhaul of the current playground with new flooring, new equipment and a new slope for bike riders. Determined to improve the park, the group formed a questionnaire in a bid to get the community involved. Miss Walden said, "We have worked hard to get the plans in place, and hopefully this will bring the community together a bit more." There are 2 schools close by, which means lots of kids will use the park, and now it will be even more appealing and there will be a feel-good factor to the place. Members of the group feared the park had in the past attracted antisocial behaviour, but with £100,000 worth of funding, they hope the image will improve. The table tennis table, benches and new trees are just the start, and hopefully by November the park will look completely different. Mayor of London Boris Johnson said, "From what started as a green shoot in 2012, dozens of glorious spaces have sprouted up across almost every corner of the capital, offering an oasis of calm from the hustle and bustle of city life. They may have been pocket-sized pieces of previously forgotten land, but they pack a real punch in what they now offer local people, thousands of whom have given up their time to make the capital greener and far more resilient."
Wow. A couple on the cusp of celebrating half a century of marriage credit their years together to being best friends before anything else. Bart, age 75, and Hazel Quinn, aged 69, of Woodstock Crescent in Edmonton, met at a family party 53 years ago, and Bart proposed after a courtship of 3 whole weeks. And according to Hazel, it really was love at first sight. We had a long engagement after the whirlwind courtship, and so 3 years later, on September the 4th, 1965, we were married in St Edmund's Church, Hertford Road. When she met her future husband at the age of 16, Hazel had lived in Edmonton since birth, while Bart had arrived in London from Tipperary in the south of Ireland. Where I lived, it was very rural, a lot of farming, and there was not much happening, he told the Advertiser. He got work in a textile factory in Edmonton, and the couple have lived in the area ever since their wedding. And in that half-century, have there been rows and arguments? We don't row, said Hazel. We have discussions. But at the end of the day, we're the best friends, before anything else. The couple are planning to celebrate their golden wedding anniversary with a special mass said in their home, and will then go to Tipperary, where they will have a big party with their extended family.
A project to brighten up a library front has scooped an Enfield in Bloom award. Pamela Shapland and Mary Smith of Friends of Ponders End Library planted 11 large plant beds outside the library and are now reaping the rewards. The pair won the Bronze Award in the Public Building category in the Enfield in Bloom competition, which honours floral displays across the borough. Pamela Shapland, who applied for the Enfield Residents Priority Fund, ERPF, to pay for the project, said, "These planters were becoming litter bins full of rubbish. They looked unsightly, so we decided to do something about it. They now look wonderful. It is the icing on the cake to win an award for it." Elsewhere, residents to football teams also received awards, which will be presented in November at the Royal Chase Hotel on the Ridgeway. Councillor Daniel Anderson, Enfield Council's Cabinet Member for Environment, said, "Winners have demonstrated a remarkable degree of skill and ability to produce spectacular displays."
More than 15 jobs have been created by a new furniture store opening in Enfield. The Mayor of Enfield, Patricia Ekechi, welcomed Sofa Works to the retail store at Great Cambridge Road, accompanied by the store's mascot Neil the Sloth. The new roles created by the manager's store include a store manager, 2 deputy store managers and 15 new safe workers.
We have now reached the end of side 1 of this tape. Please stop your machine now, take out the cassette, turn it over, and we'll see you on side 2.